Meanwhile, Robin Hood ran through the green woods. Gone was all the joy and brightness from everything, for his heart was sick within him, and it was borne in upon his soul that he had slain a man. "Alas," cried he, "thou hast found me an archer that will make thy wife to wing. I would that thou hadst never said a word to me, or that I had never passed thee by, or e'en that my right finger had been sticken off ere that this had happened. In haste I smote, but grief I saw at leisure." And then even in this trouble he remembered the old saw that "what is done is done, and the egg cracked cannot be cured. And so he came to dwell in the greenwoods, that was to be his home for many a year to come, never again to see the happy days with the lads and lasses at sweet Locksley town, for he was outlawed, not only because he had killed a man, but also because he had poached upon the king's deer, and 200 pounds were set upon his head, as a reward for whomever bring him to the court of the king. Now the sheriff of Nottingham swore that he himself would bring that knave Robin Hood to justice, and for 2 reasons. First, because he wanted the 200 pounds, and next, because the foresters that Robin Hood had killed was of kind to him. But Robin Hood lay hidden in Sherwood Forest for 1 year, and in that time were gathered around him many others like himself, cast out from other folks for his cause and for that. Some had shot deer in hungry winter time, when they could get no other food, and had been seen in the act by the foresters, but had escaped, thus saving their ears. Some had been turned out of their inheritance, that their farms might be added to the king's land in Sherwood Forest. Some had been despoiled by a great baron, or a rich abbot, or a powerful esquire. All, for one cause or another, had come to Sherwood Forest to escape wrong and oppression. So in all years 50 or more good shout Yeho men gathered around Robin Hood, and chose him to be their leader and chief. Then they would vote that even as they themselves had been despoiled, they would despoil their opposers, whenever baron, abbot, knight, or squire, and that from each they would take that which had been wrung from the poor by unjust taxes or land rents, or in wrongful fines. But to the poor folk they would give a helping hand in needing and trouble, and would return to them that which had been unjustifiably taken from them. Besides this, they swore never to harm a child, nor wrong a woman, be she maid, wife, or widow, so that after a while, when the people began to find that no harm was meant to them, but that money or food came in time of want to many a poor family, they came to praise Robin and his merry men, and to tell many tales of him and of his dodgings in Sherwood Forest, for they felt him to be one of themselves. Up rose Robin Hood one merry morn, when all the birds were singing brightly among the leaves, and uprose all the merry men, each follow washing his head and hands in the cold brown brook that leaped laughing from stone to stone. Then said Robin, "For 14 days have we seen no sport, so now I will go abroad to seek adventures forthwith. But tarry me, my merry men all, here in the green woods, only see that ye mind well my call. 3 blasts upon the bugle horn I will blow in my hour of need. Then come quickly, for I shall want your aid." So saying, he stood away through the leaves forest's glades until he came to the verge of Sherwood. There he wandered for a long time, through highway and byway, through dingly dell and forest skirts. Now he met a fair bannongs, less in a shady lane, and each gave the other a merry word and passed their way. Now he saw a fairy lady up on an ambling pet, in whom he doffed his cap, and who bowed sedately in return to the fair youth. Now he saw a fat monk on a painted leaden ass, now a gallant knight with spear and shield and armor that flashed brightly in the sunlight, now a page clad in crimson, and now a stout broughter from good Nottingham town, packing along with serious footsteps. All these sights he saw, but adventures found he none. At least he took a road by the forest skirts, a pathway that dipped towards a board. Pedley's stream spanned by a narrow bridge made a good long of wood. As he drew nigh his bridge, he saw a tall stranger coming from the other side. Thereupon Robin quickened his pace, and as did the stranger likewise, each thinking to cross first. "Now stand thou back," quoth Robin, "and let the better man cross first." "Nay," answered the stranger. "Then stand back, shine on shelf, for the better man I wed am I." "That will be presently seen," quoth Robin, "and meanwhile stand thou where thou art, or else by the bright bow of Saint Elfrida, I will show thee right good Nottingham play with a cloth-yard shaft between thy ribs." "Now," quoth the stranger, "I will then thy hide till it will be many colours as a beggar's coat, if thou darkest so much as turn to string off that same bow that thou holdest in thy hand." "Thou passest like an ass," said Robin, "for I could send this shaft clean through thy proud heart before a cruel fair could say grace over a roast goose at Michaelmastide." "And thou passed it like a coward," answered the stranger, "for thou standest there with a good yeiled bow to shoot at my heart, while I have nought in my hand but a plain black thorn staff wherewith to meet thee." "No," quoth Robin, "by the faith of my heart, never have I had a coward's name in all my life before. I will lay by my crossbow and eke my arrow, and if thou darest abide my coming, I will go and cut a cattle to test thy manhood withal." "Ay, marry, that will I abide thy coming, and joyously too," quoth the stranger. Thereupon he landed sturdily upon his shaft to await Robin.